T in the D.
Looking for the hot topics, juicy things. From the ones you know that be on the scene. Pull out your phones at T in the D. Don't look too far when you're in the city. We pulling up with that real little G. Grab a seat, it's time for T in the D. Yeah, grab a seat, it's time for T in the D.
We got the vibes, the talk, the truth.
We just want to invite y'all into this new platform called T in the D, and make sure y'all tune in on Instagram so y'all can have the exclusive tea from some of the cast of Ready to Love. Well, you can follow us at TEA underscore INTHED underscore. And that's where you'll find a lot of our cast exclusives, like our watch party that's coming up. Come on, I think it's on everybody's mind. I think it's on everybody's mouth right now. Is we made history. We literally made history. Mary Sheffield, Madam Mayor Mary Sheffield. I want to shout out the Pistons on their win. Congratulations. Introduce some of our special guests. We got Mrs. Dr. Crystal Jordan in the building at Scorpio Moe. I'm going to let them go ahead and introduce themselves a little more.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm excited to be here. Detroit was a long time coming. We were really, really, really excited for this season. And so having the opportunity to come out and hang out with some of the cast in Detroit this past Friday was really cool. I've been basically doing reviews on Ready to Love and interviewing cast since the first season here in Atlanta. So seeing the 11th season and seeing the differences in the different cities and Detroit being the first one in the Midwest, we're just super excited.
Scorpio Moe in the building. Yeah. Listen, first of all, what up, though? You know, I know.
What up, though?
Make sure that out. And second of all, congratulations, new mayor. You guys made history. I thought that was super dope, super dope. And this is my, I think, almost 2.5 years of the Ready to Love process. I think I came in on the end of Dallas in the beginning of Fort Worth. So I've been kind of following Crystal's lead in this thing. This has been an interesting journey, and I enjoy it season after season. And to actually go to Detroit, which I haven't been to in super long, and the energy in the city I thought was amazing. We had a good time all throughout the city, the hospitality, the food, energy. And you guys, like I said, like I was telling you guys personally, I think it's a light on your city, and you guys should be proud. And I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the season. And the party was amazing as well. We were at Parlay, so yeah.
Like, you looked like a whole little Barbie girl, from the shoes. The boots was like booting. The dress was dressing. The hair was hairing. The makeup was makeuping. Everything was on point. So I definitely think you looked amazing when you walked in.
I appreciate that. Did you expect anything less, Ina? Come on, Ina.
Because period. No, listen, after I've met you, of course I wouldn't. Because period, you know, you represent the way you represent the first time, and you don't make them question if she gonna show up like that again. Because every time. But you know, when we first meet people, you never know what to expect. So that was definitely like, oh wow, that is beautiful. I like that. Go ahead, Cardi. Tell me how you feel.
Thank you.
Yeah, I felt that Dom, for her to walk in first, I mean, she looked absolutely beautiful. The coordination of everything, like turquoise is like my favorite color, but it's just, it's more so just how she just, you know, like I feel that there was just a lot of attention to all of the details.
When I first saw Dom, I had to ask myself, am I here for the boys or the girls? Because
hello,
she looked great. I said, oh yeah, this woman, she know how to put it on. I'm like, she got to be some sort of stylist or something, because it's one thing to dress nice, it's another thing to like put that shit on, and she put it on for sure.
From the time she got out, I think it set the tone for just beautiful women, stylish. You know, we were talking about how Detroit has this style, and Dominique, you definitely brought it from the boots to the dress with the slit, the hair, the jewelry. It was like, okay, y'all, Detroit is not playing with y'all.
You know, when you come to beautiful women and their style and how they carry themselves, I just thought visually she represented Detroit. Now, that's the first thing I thought. And I was like, yeah, she set the tone.
I was like, Mo's gonna be watching all season. This is definitely.
As I came in after and saw Dom, I was like, my first thought was, I am woefully underdressed.
Now, y'all know I'm not no fashion girly. So I was actually the last person to walk into the mixer. So I got to see everybody at the same time. And I think my immediate thought was, okay, it doesn't matter what you're interested in. Somebody is here for you. I saw all different shades of complexions, all different types of body types, hairstyles, even with the men, different heights, different builds. And so I just knew no matter what you were looking for, it was in the room. For me, I was checking for energy. So I paid attention to who smiled at me, who seemed confident, who gave me a hug. So my first impressions was more based off that and not what people had on.
Let's talk about Ashante. Ashante, to me, Ashante walked in very, very confident. You can tell in how she walked in the room, like, who is worth talking to me? But I think everybody should go in confident. You feel me?
Look, I don't know. Can I jump in?
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna keep it real. That was not my takeaway. So Ashante, she has just like this general confidence about her, but that day in particular, shyness or nervousness or like it was very much like sensory overload. I know what that looks like. So I felt like she was just like, what is like I remember our first conversation.
I think maybe we the girls probably perceived her differently because she's a girl's girl in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
But I think Ashante killed it with her outfit, the shoes, you know, just the charisma. It was really, I think, very easy to have conversation and approach things, which is why when like looking at the episode, it just really seemed that her conversation was just really natural with everyone that, you know, that she had it with that day. And it was like, okay, nice. What did y'all think? If we start with me, my conversation with Shannon, what did y'all feel when looking at that? Like, what was y'all take?
I feel like they did you dirty.
Like you, Cardi, to be honest, like more than I had the entire experience, like it made me see you as a real human or whatever. And so I really appreciated that you were a little nervous. It seemed honest and it seemed genuine. And so to me, I know we can all walk into a space and pretend to be confident, but this was new for everybody. Like a lot of us have never done this before. Some of us have been behind a camera, but for majority of us, this was our first time doing anything. And we didn't know what to expect. We weren't prepped for this. We weren't trained. We were walking into a space. So when I saw that you were acting nervous, for me, I was like, okay, this is honest. He's being himself. I appreciated that about you.
I thought people kind of took it more than what it was. Like, I didn't really feel like that. That's how men naturally are sometimes. It's either super confident or what he was. And it wasn't even, to me, a confident thing. It was just like, you know, he's still trying to feel her out and just feel the energy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's how
I just wonder whether did he have any extensions in his hair? Or was that all his hair?
I know what I want to know.
I've never had extensions. I didn't
know. So we just seen it the first time, and the braids were perfect. So I was like, usually when people have really long hair, at least guys, that I don't see them get the braids so perfect. So I was like, did he have extensions? And so when I saw you in person, I was like, oh. But I did wonder that, like, then he was like, my hair sweated out, and I was like,
I know, I saw that.
I want to know what the Cardi experience is. You said a Cardi experience. I feel like it's like A, B, and C. Like, tell the people, what is the Cardi experience? That's what I want to know.
So the Cardi experience is really just, it's my full authentic self.
Okay.
And also attempting to bring the best out of each individual person that I'm talking to. So if that's tabling certain conversations to have other conversations. If it's to say, hey, let's talk about this because this is funny, but really showing up and being as real as I can on every particular basis. Like that's my goal. My goal is that if you know me outside of this experience, for you to be like, yeah, that's Cardi. That's something that he would do. You know?
Yeah.
Other than being like, hey, whose man is this?
Come get him.
Yep. So now I guess pivoting off of me, there was another very interesting conversation, Divine, that you had with Ashley. And it did seem very passionate. It did seem, pretty cool. And before I guess passing the ball to Divine, who would like to speak on their thoughts of that combo?
One thing about Ashley, if you know her personally, she don't play about her baby. So I feel like once you were like dogs this, dogs that, she checked out. She was like, oh yeah, nah. Cause that is her child. Okay. She don't play about her puppy.
Fair enough. I still think dogs shouldn't sleep on the bed with people, but that's okay.
I agree.
All right. Look, it was a normal conversation. The way they put that joint together, she wasn't feeling it, which is fine. But the way they did me.
I think that's what makes the show unique, right? Because in the dating world, we have conversations with people when we get home at the end of a date, and we're like, "Oh, this went so good," and you think you and the person are vibing and on the same page. And this is really an opportunity for you to see, hey, actually, no, it wasn't feeling me like I thought it was.
100%.
I think that's what makes the show unique.
Yeah. So there was one point where Nicole, for you specifically, on the show, they put a moment where they were like, you feel like you believe in love at first sight. And then they put in another moment where they had you talking to Darius and you were like, oh, why don't we run away and get married? So I have a two-part question.
Yeah.
The
so
first
I
question is,
oh, go ahead.
But if a man were to give you the perfect scenario and you met him, like, I don't know, recently or whatever the case, how long do you think it would take if he asked you to marry you before you'd be like, yes, let's go run and get married?
I could see myself as a person that has a story. I met somebody and married them on the first day, to be honest. Like, that is who I am as a person, is who I've always been. So I don't think it's all that crazy. I think marriage just takes two people that really wants it. So I didn't think that. So yes, I absolutely believe in love at first sight. And I'd be all in. Like I would say most of the relationships I've been in, it took one date, and by the end of that first date, we had locked in.
What?
I love that.
Yeah.
And listen, Devon's face gave me a whole reaction. Do you have a comment, Devon?
And then I'm long-term relationships too, like multiple years, like from one date, like at the end of that first date, like a lock-in. Yeah.
I love that.
Here's what I agree on. I think that love is a choice between two people, and it don't matter how well paired you are. If you want it to work, you can make it work. I have met people who got married like within a week of meeting each other and were married for 30 years. So I know that it can happen. That's just not the usual story. Usually it ends real bad. And
everybody's thoughts on, have y'all ever asked someone to do a 360? And for the gentleman here, would you do a 360 if it was requested of you?
I think for me in that moment, because he grabbed my hand and spin me around, I just was like, oh, okay, this man is taking charge, and I was for that. So he could have bent me over if he wanted me to. But I think if he had asked me, like, can you spin? Like, nah, I would have been like, nah, that's weird. But because he did the action, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Because it was an assisted spin.
Yeah. So that's why I was for it. But I think if I was asked, I would have felt weird.
Can we give a moment that he could have bent her over?
He sure could have.
Oh, okay.
No. I feel like if I ask a man to spin for me and he does it, he into that stuff. If you know, you know. He will let me go on cat school and tie him up and gag him, and God knows what. If you ask a grown man to sit around for me and he takes that order, he like taking orders.
Yeah, I ain't like that.
He like taking orders, babe. You know.
Yeah, what you say, Don?
I said I was very weirded out by her asking all the men to twirl. Like, that was weird as hell. I'm like, why do they need to turn around and do a 360? If a man asks me to do a 360, I'll be like, nigga, please, you do a 360.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. So what made her think? I thought that was insane to me. Like, what made her think a grown ass man gonna do a twirl for her? Like, what kind of man do you want? Do you want Tinkerbell? I'm confused because I was like, I would never. I'm offended if a man asks me to twirl. Like, what? Watch me.
Like,
I think she said Darius did.
Like the way
But you know what?
I actually think Xavier's response was great. And if she
thought it
had
was
liked
cute.
him, I think she would have laughed and it would have been a joke.
That would
But
have been
since she
better.
didn't like him, it was like.
So, one, I just wanted to give Emily a shout out because I felt Emily was misjudged, misrepresented, and I honestly liked Emily's outfit. I felt like her dress matched her shoes. She came in very together, and in the case, it made me feel like, well, I think that when people felt like they wanted to talk about her, it was based off of their own preference and attempting to body shame in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, where she wanted to put it. Everybody was showing their assets. They were coming with their best foot forward, and I think she looked beautiful.
No, sorry. I could look. I hear you. She is beautiful, but that's a choice, and it didn't look good. Bottom line, like, I'm just call it what it is. I didn't think. Excuse me. Let me speak for myself.
Yeah,
it's like I didn't think that was.
I think she looked beautiful, but it's like we all have different preferences. We all have different choices. I would definitely say though too, because like the way that even all of our outfits may have showed up may not have been the best on game day.
Facts.
But, when it came to let's say Vince's and Dom's convo, did y'all see any red flags on either side of that convo from y'all perspectives?
I didn't think Vince's questions were out of hand, but maybe it's because we just know that that's how Vince talks. Like, I feel like if somebody had asked me about a tattoo and it was a guy's name and I really didn't want people to know who he was, I could have just said his first name and not the last, and nobody would have thought nothing of it. I could have just been like, oh yeah, that's my ex. His name was John. Kept it moving. Like,
First of all, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. So if we gonna address the question, address it right. I never said his last name. And I said my ex-husband's last name because I rightfully so. It's not a secret. So it wasn't me.
It's her last name.
I said his first and his last name because that's my last name. It's my ex-husband. So I didn't have a problem with that. And I don't have, it wasn't a secret. It's not a secret to me at all. So it wasn't me trying to keep it a secret. It was on me. I ain't ashamed of it. So I said what I said. It's not a secret. It's public knowledge. Everybody know I dated him. It's no big deal to me.
Dom, I love the segue though too.
Say this.
When he was like, "Where's the other tattoo at?" and you're like, "You'll never see it."
You'll never see it. Okay,
I love that. I love that.
Well, let me
so,
for me, if any man was,
I just want to clear this up because at no point did I feel offended because it is there, and I never said his last. I don't gotta say his name because everybody know it's real. Because if you Google me, it's gonna pop up. He was my ex-husband, and Antonio. Everybody, it was a public relationship. It wasn't a secret. Up to that, it ain't got shit to do with me because he said their names. He acknowledged.
Hey, Dom, let me ask
I
you
said,
something.
well, let me go further. Let's talk further about it. Since if that's intimidating to you, then you need to know more stuff about me, and it would be more intimidating. It was never intimidating for me. So that's
hey, Dom, let me ask you something.
I never cared.
What did you feel when you did walk away from that conversation with Vince? Like, how did you feel about the interaction?
Exactly how he felt. He had nothing to offer me because he felt offended towards it. He said all of that stuff, not me. That wasn't none of my insecurities. That was all his insecurities. When he said what he said it, and I felt the same way. So he was like, "If I have nothing to offer her," I was like, "You're right, you don't."
Boom.
So when I walked away, that's what I walked away to. He was intimidated.
I just felt like,
and I didn't bring that to the forefront. He brought it to the forefront, and I just
he did.
He brought that.
He in the D.
My thing is, he did for real. T in the D, baby. I would just like to say this: like, if it was our very first interaction, our very first meeting, I think it was just inappropriate for that to be the topic of conversation and focus. Like, it would have been something that you could have observed and then came back to after you decided if that's an interest of yours. Other than that, it was just like you emphasizing your discomfort or dislike for somebody you may never even talk to. So I think that highlighting that.
Like, so for me, I think I asked Chris and Richie to explain their tattoos to me. And I think that I went straight to explain the tattoos because like I had nothing else to talk to them about, and I could see their tattoos and it was an easy conversation. So like looking at them, seeing the tattoos, it was like explaining the tattoos to me. So like I think how I saw it, it looked like Vince asked her like about the tattoo. And if she like, I don't know, like to me, like if you didn't want people to know all the details of what it was about, it's like how would Vince have known the last name? I don't know. Is the last name written on there?
If he said, if he would have said, explain your tattoo to me. If he would have said, it's explain your tattoo to me, that would have been way different than asking if that's a cover up. Like, if it was, why are you looking so hard that you could see through it? And even if it wasn't a good job, because if you could see through it, maybe it was a good job. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's just assumption. But if he could see through it and he saw that, I think kindness and consideration would have just kept that in the back of his head.
I think, you know what I think though? I think what is happening is Vince has his personality. And I think what the show really highlighted was that he was actually a little, just based off his own words, like a little insecure or whatever in that moment. And I think he was dealing with the nervousness of meeting somebody for the first time. But the way that he shows that is doubling down on who he is. And he wanted to know. That was, I don't even think it was any malicious intent. In fact, I've heard him talk about it, but it wasn't no malicious intent. He just he thought it was a loved one or whatever, and was just asking questions. But once he was in it, you know, Vince, he's not about to let up off the gas. So he just was like, I got to know, what is that?
But that's where you got me cussing. So for me, I felt like there's like, and this is just shows to the point of character in a sense that are you considerate about the people around you and how you affect the people around you, right?
So with that hot topic segue of you and Steve, I remember watching it a little bit, and I ran straight to the comments. I'm not sure about y'all, but a lot of times it's like let's see what these comments say.
Wait, well, let's talk about it first. Let's talk about what it was before we go into the comments.
What did you mean in that moment when talking to Steven about a certain level of pretty?
So I really appreciate you actually bringing that up. So what I mean by that is God has blessed me with a level of favor that God has blessed me with favor in the form of beauty, right? Because I didn't pick my face. My parents didn't pick my face. And what I mean by that is you're not going to see Kim K walking down Joy Road without a security. Like, I was just at the studio on 8 Mile, and I'm not walking to the corner store without my engineer or somebody walking with me, because I feel like every man, depending on the environment that you're in, sometimes may not have the level of self-control or even respect that comes with rejection, you know? So if you're really pretty and then everybody feels like you're really pretty, and I'm not saying I'm really pretty, but people tell me I am. So if you want me to contradict them, you do that. But what I'm saying is
one question. Do you think that this could happen? And I'm not saying you're calling anybody else unpretty, but could this happen to an unpretty person to where that same level of rejection could come and the same consequences that you were alluding to?
So when I say this level of pretty, I think only ugly people are going to exclude themselves. I think that a level of pretty that requires you to have concern over your environment, because there's traffickers, there's kidnappers, there's reckless men, and emotionally unintelligent men who have no self-control. Yeah, I'm not going to place myself everywhere. God didn't place me everywhere. Yeah, because like my thing is treat me like you treat your
mom. Is that what you just touched on makes a lot of sense in essence of being pretty can definitely trigger some people who may not be used to, let's say, the rejection or just used to being pretty to act not like themselves. So it does come with a certain level of danger. It's good to hear you articulate it, because to just the untrained ear or to the
that short little
snippet type of way, you know. But yeah, okay, all right, cool. Nikki, do you have any?
How did y'all feel about that?
I'm gonna let Devon go first.
I actually did not see the whole clip. I was like half paying attention, but I got the gist. The gist being that Ina came off like she was better than, and I think that's going to be the main takeaway, just because those were the words. You know what I mean? Like, because I mean, you don't see online like what people say, but I didn't hear the whole clip though. I will say that. So I'm not quite sure what came before the context of it, but I think there's going to be a lot of that because, when you talk sometimes, you speak with a certain authority and confidence that might set some people, turn some people off.
Feelings, man. No, I want to hear Nicole. No, Nicole has something to say.
I didn't, unless you just absolutely want me to. I fly Spirit, Christina. I sit in general admission. I don't have a contribution to this topic. I don't know. I consider myself to be incredibly beautiful, and I think I've lived a very luxury life. But so I don't know. I think we just live very differently. So I think you just stated what your preference is, and I think, like Cardi said, I think we all know Steve to be more of a chill type guy, but I don't think
he's a teacher.
I didn't see it as an insecurity. I think he was just like, oh, this is not what I'm used to, or this is not what I'm, looking for. But I don't,
And that's why I like how he said that I'm just looking for a walk in the park. And I loved that because I felt like
I love that
I show you what kind of I'm used to and kind of what I'm expecting. You got to tell me what you're used to and what you're expecting. It just gave us the opportunity to decide if we're compatible or not. Are we looking for the same thing?
The top one before we wrap it up is the conversation with Emily and Richie. And when it came down to the tattoo, does it seem really believable, ladies, if a man has a Playboy tattoo, that could be for a sibling, or would you imagine that is for him and he's kind of just, not really being honest and upfront about it? And does it affect the way that you would want to talk to him? Would you talk to him based off of it?
I think if he had one tattoo and it was a Playboy bunny, that would be kind of okay, I know where you got this. But if the man is saying, I am a tattoo artist and I have several tattoos that represent many members of my family, to me, it was believable because of the amount of tattoos that he had. So it was believable to me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm just real hesitant to call some. I mean, not that this was aimed at me, but I'm just saying, in general, I'm hesitant to call somebody a liar when they tell me why they got a tattoo. Because people. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's wayward in your mind. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who knows why he got that tattoo? To me, it didn't seem that crazy. I mean, was it true? Who knows? But you can't say that. I feel like it's crazy to be like, you're lying.
Yeah. It is kind of bold. It's real good. By the way, you're lying.
Bold face.
Yeah.
Christina, would that be a red flag for you if you saw?
If I saw somebody with a Playboy
is that a red flag?
I would just say only because
we pushing 40. You know what I mean? Like, even if he got it,
I'm gonna tell you why. Well, here's the thing. The thing is, I don't know. I think I'm very particular about what I have on my body, right? And there's purposes behind it. And I wouldn't necessarily say I would throw them away, but I think from first reaction, it's a red flag for me because Playboy bunny represents so many different things, right? So either you're, like he said, he's the man, he's the ladies' man, you know what I'm saying? So if you're the ladies' man, and that's what the commentaries say, it makes me feel like maybe you might enjoy dating all these different women. But then when I see him let her know this is about my brother and, it's actually something sentimental, then I look at it like, okay, well, from the first impression, I would have had a red flag. But then after we talk more, this is what it is,
also, it's just hard for me to put, as a man, there's no reality where I would put a Playboy bunny tattoo on myself. That's not real. And I don't think, and I'm not saying that just for me, I'm just saying men don't think that way about what that represents to women is not the same thing that it represents to men. So it makes sense to me. It makes more sense to me that he got it as in memorial, or not memorial, I'm sorry, but as a symbol of his brother, than because he's a player. That's not what that's not the symbol of being a player. Or whatever.
That's what I want to know. What is for most men? I want to know when most men would see that. What is their thought?
Nothing. It's just you got a tattoo. Honestly, I didn't. I'm like, curious choice. I wouldn't have done that, but I have no idea. Like, I would want to know why he got it. I think I would ask. Yeah. Like,
but I'm glad.
I think what I would really assume.
Do y'all have tattoos?
No.
I do. Yeah, I got 3.
You got 3?
Do you really?Id I know that?
Where they know?
Yeah,
oh,
big ones too. One right here.
Have we had this conversation?
We outside. Talk that truth. Sip that tea. Welcome to T and the D.
Looking for the hot topics, juicy things. From the ones you know that be on the scene. Pull out your phones at T and the D. Don't look too far when you're in the city. We pulling up with that real little G. Grab a seat, it's time for T and the D. Yeah, grab a seat, it's time for T and the D.
We got the vibes, the talk, the truth. From the block to the booth, yeah, we bring the proof. No rumors, just flavor and facts. Detroit soul, we don't do no cap.
From the love to the light to the lessons. When we speak, it's pure confessions.
Cameras on now, sit with me, whole world tuned in to T and the D.
Looking for the hot